This is Rob Walgett with the Medina Basketball Podcast, joined today by Medina V's varsity head coach, Chris Hassinger, and assistant coach, Bill Geschke. Coach Geschke, good to see you.
Thanks, Rob. It's good to be here. It's always good to be playing late into March. It's exciting, and it's exciting to be playing right now.
Let's recap that Wednesday evening in Twinsburg. Regional Semifinal against a very good North Canton Hoover team. Expectations coming into the game versus what happened during the game. Are you happy with the way the team executed the game plan?
Oh, absolutely. We knew they were a very good opponent. We knew that they were very well coached. And we knew that if we didn't have a very good game plan, that it could get ugly really quick and we could find ourselves in a real good dogfight.
You know, I sat with the coaching staff Sunday afternoon when you watch film and we're discussing Hoover's offense. It's an old school, almost Princeton-style offense. They're going to try and lull you to sleep, backdoor cut. We were burnt on a few of those cuts a couple times, but for the most part, the kids sat down, battled, and were guarded and listened to the game plan and put it into play on Wednesday night.
Yeah, the game is very offensive right now, and it's about scoring. And we knew that we would get beat on a few of those. We just didn't want to get beat on a lot of them over and over again. And our kids really executed the game plan. And, Coach Hass really did a great job of making sure that everyone was doing what they were supposed to be doing when they were doing it.
And that comment there got the attention of Coach Hass for sure. Coach Hass, let's talk about at the other end of the floor. Let's talk about the offense and what was put into play on Wednesday evening. I thought there are a number of plays we can point at, big shots, things of that nature. A couple that jumped to mind is the three by Geschke to end the third quarter was a big bucket. The and one that Chris Howard got late in the game when he spun to his left, and countless times that Corey Tripp got to the rim and was able to score.
Yeah, which game are we talking about? Nah, just kidding. Yeah, our kids are really executing right now. We put a lot of time into our sets. We just started using sets. We have a whole set card for end of game situations, and we're starting to use them in the tournament. Last year, I think we used maybe 3 out of the whole card in the regional game, but now we started to use them because we don't want to take any risks and any chances, and that's a little set we put in probably about 3 weeks ago. I think we've used it once in a game, and we ran it to perfection. We got Brandon coming off that little down screen away. I think it was Matt Spatney was in the game at that time that set a phenomenal screen just to clear him up a little bit.
Well, as we get deeper into the postseason, it's great you have the seniors with the leadership, but also looking ahead, I don't want to overlook this season. The season's a long way from over, a week and a half from being over, but your underclassmen are gaining valuable experience playing in these types of situations. It's going to carry over and be helpful for years to come.
Well, and it's those seniors that are getting them ready. Those seniors are so calm in these tournament games, and I keep having the sophomores that aren't even playing in games coming up going, this is so much different than a regular season. And I keep saying, do you see why I scream at you during the year and I make you learn lessons during the games? Because now it matters so much and everything's so tight. It's possession by possession. There's no blowouts for our team so far in the tournament. Even that 11-point win was a dogfight till the end. And I think they're starting to see the product of having a lot of details throughout the year. And even our seniors were a little loose throughout the beginning of the year and the middle of the year, and they've really tightened things up. They're talking more in huddles sometimes than we are as coaches. And that's trying to show progress.
Well, they're communicating in the huddle, but they're also communicating on the floor. And Coach Geschke, I think that was key at the defensive end last night, seeing them communicate, because with dribble handoffs, with ball screens, if they're not communicating, you're going to see it break down, but the communication was evident.
Yeah, for sure, and it's so important with a team that runs an offense that's so structured like that. And to watch a young man like Chris Howard come out of his shell and just lead us from the back end of that, and Corey be a forceful leader, making other kids play harder. And I always say this time of year, you always find out who really wants to keep the season going in practices and then when you get in games. And we have all our kids fighting and playing hard in practice, and everyone's excited to be here, and that's always really good.
Well, we are recording this on Thursday afternoon after practice, and it was 1 year ago this evening this Thursday night, it was Wednesday last year, that the Medina Bees battled Menor at the Wolstein Center in Cleveland. Now, it was one of the last basketball games played in the 2019-2020 season. So that's what's on the agenda Saturday afternoon. The Menor Cardinals, round 3. Everyone knows what everyone's going to do, basically. Very familiar with each other. Coach Haas, you and Coach Krasancic, one more time. I thought maybe you guys should play 1-on-1 to 11 to see who advances to the Final Four. But it sounds like we're going to throw the ball in the air and play for 32 minutes Saturday at Twinsburg.
Yeah, first of all, that wouldn't be fair. You might as well punch our ticket if we're playing 1-on-1. But
would he put the cup of water down to play, you think?
Oh, my goodness. I'd swat the crud out of him with that cup in one hand and the ball in the other. No, he's a great guy and a great coach. He's been there before. And I said it last year, and I still stick by this. Whoever was winning that game last year was going to state. We were both better in Shaker Heights last year. I don't care what anybody says. And, it's similar game this time. Whoever wins this game is going to state. And we just keep saying that Coach Geschke and I said, we got 4 quarters to play for a chance to go to state. 4 quarters, that's it. And we're preaching it to the kids. We're preaching to everybody that we're so close. Let's take it possession by possession, quarter by quarter. Win 4 quarters by 1 point, and you're going to Dayton.
That is a very cool thing to think about. And I know the players, but me seeing their attitude, showing up a little early today, watching the film session as you went over previous Menor games earlier this year, it was interesting to see their demeanor. They seem relaxed and calm, and they know the job's at hand. How much Coach Geschke does last year's experience for those kids playing in that regional against Menor help carry over into this year?
Oh, it helps a ton. It just, the kids that are playing are just so different this year than they were last year. I mean, Corey Tripp was a big part of what we did last year, but look at him this year and the experience and how almost unstoppable he is right now. Brandon probably took 2 shots last year in that regional game. He had 7 or 8, yesterday. It's funny, as we went into 2 seasons ago, I said that last year's team was a state-bound team, and I missed it by a little bit. Haas has always said to me, when I would say that, he said, no, Bill, you're off by 1 year. It's this year's team. And I believe he's right.
Well, Coach Haas, as we head into the game against Menor, anything different? I mean, the expectation is both teams like to get after it. Both teams like to get up and down the floor. There are basketball players on both teams, but both teams have athletes as well. And they like to make the most of that, make it an athletic game. And I think that fits the style for Medina just fine.
Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of changes. Everyone keeps texting me and calling me, saying you need to do this, you need to do that. And here's the thing: we haven't played them yet this year with the full schedule or with the full roster. We've had kids out every game, key guys out. Matt and Mike were out the second game, and Bryce Beach was out the first game. We even sat our starters as a little punishment in the first game. Like there's things that we've put these kids in situations of not being comfortable playing the first time. We were right there. I think the first one was 11, the second one was 6. And, we had a 2-possession game with Corey Tripp with the ball. We got called on a moving screen, and he was going down the lane to dunk it to make it a 1-possession game with about a minute left. So our kids know we're good enough to beat these guys. We're going to have to play perfect. There's a reason they're the number 1 team in the state. They've been there. They've got great players. They got 3 of probably the best guards around. But I'll still put my money on our kids any day.
I love it. And last night in the regional semi, it didn't have the full environment and atmosphere of a tournament game, but you saw some of it coming back. Even though there were only 200 fans for each team in the building, it got a little loud, and I felt like the kids enjoyed that, appreciated that, and could use that momentum. So I think it's going to be very key on Wednesday that the 200 bodies that are in the seats make some noise and let people know they're there.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's the thing, too. We have history with Menor. Menor has history with us. It's going to be a completely different game than the Jackson-Menor game. Our kids want to win so bad. Their kids want to win. I mean, it's just different when it's your own league. It is.
Well, and let's hit on that. I mean, it is isn't that a testament to how strong the league is? I mean, night in and night out, there's never an off night in this league.
Yeah, and the athletes in this league are just ridiculous. It's not like the Federal doesn't have great athletes, but it's a different type of league. They're a grind out, physical, tough, run a lot of sets type of league, and our league's different. Our league's an up and down league. You think about teams even like Strongsville, Elyria, Euclid. Those are really good basketball schools. They may not have the records that everybody gets, excited about, but they played us tough every year, and we're in the Elite Eight.
Take us through the last couple days leading up to the game. Practice Friday, light practice, go after it hard. What's the plan and prep for the team?
We went really light today because our legs are dead. Watched film, got a ton of shots up. Coach Geschke and Coach Sturm kind of ran our practice today, and I kind of sat back and put in little tweaks and listened. I'm just more observant just today, just to kind of get a feel how guys are, ask them how their bodies are feeling. Coach Beeline always told me that. He said he had a color code with guys, and he'd say, what kind of day is it? Red, green, yellow, and every single kid said, I feel pretty good. One kid says legs are a little tired. So we still went light with them. Tomorrow we come in, we go a little bit more up-tempo to get the conditioning in, get some more game speed shots, start really game and planning all the stuff we put in today, and get ice baths tomorrow. They get their bodies in, chest down, into complete tubs of ice, which is good. And then, Saturday morning we have a shoot around, breakfast, and then we're off to the races.
Get on a bus, throw it in the air, and let's see it happen. One thing I do want to hit on before we wrap this up, I heard fans talking about it as they were leaving the gym on Wednesday evening to bring out one more performance. Can you talk about the performance that Juan had at the defensive end in the second half on Wednesday night?
I don't know which assistant said we need a face guard, but that's another thing on top of our assistants. Probably the best coaching job they've done since I've been here in 7 years. I've really just embraced them, trust them, and it's all of them. They're all giving their little tidbits of input. And someone said, we need to have Juan face guard that kid. And Juan is up for any challenge. He really is. And I got to throw Carter Hip in there too as well.
Yes,
because Carter had him a bunch of possessions, and he didn't score on Carter. But Juan is just a lockdown guy. Juan embraces that. He loves it. I think it almost makes him play harder and tougher. And you know what? Juan's going to have a tough assignment on Saturday. So we'll see how that works out for us.
Well, I know the Bees are up for the challenge, and they look forward to it, and they'll do it at both the defensive end, the offensive end. We look forward to seeing everyone in Twinsburg at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon.